You know, this coronavirus is it's a pandemic being promoted. Official statistics I saw listed the number of cases and the number of fatalities. It was about 2.5% fatality, so meaning that anyone who actually is confirmed and has contracted the virus that's normal has a 97% chance of recovery. So when you start to recognize this is intentionally promoted mass hysteria by what we know to be the controlled mass media, and you got to ask yourself, well, who's behind it? What do they want to cause mass hysteria for? Some states have shut down the entire public school systems, which is causing a ripple effect with parents. Both parents are working, their children are at school. Now they have to come home from work to watch their kids. Businesses are having to shut down. Grocery stores down in LA, I was informed, are closed, and most stuff is sold out. A Walmart nearby had one huge aisle completely empty from one end to the other. A friend showed me a photograph he took of it. Had toilet paper and stuff in it. Well, the fact is, people see a problem, then they want to go get the supplies. The truth is, you should be stocked up with lots of supplies before a pandemic hits or catastrophe hits. And so I've been promoting and trying to encourage people to do that for a long time because of the Bible prophecies that say there is a day of great disaster coming suddenly on unsuspecting people. I know what it is. It's the beginning of World War III. But I actually am convinced that a war is being waged against the United States and has been for many, many years by the global elite, who basically have stated they want a one world government, and it's coming, whether you like it or not. It will happen one way or the other, either by consent or by conquest. These people who are so diabolically wicked, they want to have complete control of mankind. They have been waging war against this country for one reason. They know you can't have a global government until every single nation on the earth has to acknowledge that there is now a higher power that has the authority to rule over all the nations of the earth. And they've recognized from the beginning this United States is never going to consent. If it's going to happen either with consent or with conquest, they only have one option. The conquest of the United States must take place. So they've been working to weaken this country. Weakening us, well, the coronavirus, 23 trillion in debt, economic destruction, using the presidents, the Bushes, the Clintons, the Obamas, as commanders-in-chiefs to go around the world, using our military to attack other countries. Who these people are the owners and control of the Federal Reserve banking system. They own the United States dollar. I've done a lot of research. They murdered President Kennedy because he did effectively create over $4.79 billion in cash in the year 1963. In 1963, Kennedy printed money that had 3 words on it that have never been on any money again, and the money that Kennedy printed said United States notes, as opposed to Federal Reserve notes. I've even found that there was a video about Saddam Hussein and Omar Gaddafi. A divided screen. The thumbnail said, "What do these two men have in common?" It's only a couple minutes long. I clicked on it. It explained they were both leaders of oil-rich countries, but they both made the fatal mistake independently of each other. They announced to the global marketplace, "We have a lot of oil for sale, and we would love for you to come and buy our oil, but do not bring Federal Reserve notes, American dollars. We will not accept them. We will, however, accept payment in gold. And that continued until they had accumulated a significant amount of gold. And then these global elite who do control this mainstream media that's behind the coronavirus hype hysteria, they control our media to the degree they slandered Saddam Hussein and Gaddafi. Oh, what bad, nasty people these people are, how they're using biological weapons, chemical weapons on their own people. Can you believe it? And they paint a picture to get the American people believing what terrible people they are in order to be able to justify going into their countries and taking them out, which we've done, and using American military to basically to go rob them of the gold that they did legitimately collect from customers by selling them oil. So when you start to understand who's really behind all this stuff, you start to wonder, why is this mass hysteria being promoted about the coronavirus? And I pictured in my mind in the days of the cavemen, how they would sneak around a herd of buffalo or something. Then they'd all jump out and holler and yell, and get all the buffalo to herd and stampede them off a cliff. Yeah, this is what's happening. I know it's happening, but in the Bible prophecy, it also parallels what's called the birth pains. And this is where it gets real serious about what you need to know to do with my information. This is a birth pain, like a major contraction. It's like the whole go, but in birth pains, contractions continue to come. Another one's coming. They get more intense. We're getting close to a birth pain where the breaking of a seal is going to take place, called the breaking of the water. But this coronavirus is going to pass. The grocery store shelves will get stocked up again. And that's when you need to be serious about going and getting large amounts of supplies when there's no panic and no hysteria. Because for a short while, things will appear to be returning to normal. That's what happens in birth pains. Contractions come and go. And between the contractions, there is a period where rest and recovery occurs to prepare for the next contraction that's coming that will be more difficult. And this one that's coming is going to happen when summer's near. It's in the Bible. Jesus said it. When summer's near, it's at the door. And what it is called the day of the Lord, a day of judgment. It's in the book of Joel. A large and mighty army comes. It's going to be United Nations peacekeeping forces. And the reason is the peacekeeping forces are going to come into this country. They're described in Joel chapter 2 as a large and mighty army, and Joel 20 says it's a northern army. They'll be driven back out. We have hope. We are going to suffer a lot of damage, but we are going to survive. It says, woe to the wicked, tell the righteous, it will be well with them. They'll enjoy the fruit of their deeds, which is stockpiling supplies and being prepared for what's coming. God is loving, kind, and merciful. He's allowing this coronavirus event to take place so that you have an example of what it can become like when store shelves are empty and you can't get anything. So now here's your clue. When we do recover from it, and we will, then get busy, stock up, because another event is coming that is called an EMP attack. It's grid down. If you look up Soleimani in Tehran, at his funeral, his daughter said, dark days are coming on the United States. They plan to flatten our spider web, which is the web, which is the internet, which controls the drone that killed Soleimani. That drone attack on Soleimani is a game changer. Every anti-American leader in the world is absolutely beside themselves. They saw what happened to Soleimani and they go, what are we going to do? We're not safe anywhere. Picture even Russian leader Putin in the Kremlin conducting Russian presidential business all day. At the end of the day, he could have a car in a parking lot of Mercedes with bulletproof windows. He could be escorted out with a couple dozen armed guards on both sides and all kinds of high security. but nothing could stop a drone. A drone could show up from anywhere, anytime. And this is what they're saying. This must not go on. And Antonio Guterres, who's now Secretary General of the United Nations, makes a speech on January 6th. Do your homework. Listen to it. It's only a 2-minute speech. They think they're the boss of the world. In his speech, he says, this must not go on. He says, my message is simple and clear. Stop escalation. Use maximum restraint. Restart dialogue. Come and talk to us. And his final command to the United States is renew international cooperation. It's back to the choice of consent or conquest. And then he does the final statement in his speech is, we should try to avoid war. It is our duty to avoid war. But because this country will never consent to a global government ruling over this country, we're free, independent, and we will remain so, as we should. And so the birth pains are going to continue. This is a wake-up call. I've seen what's coming for a long time, but as something gets closer and closer, then more and more people start to identify the fact is the prophecies are unfolding as they're supposed to on the timeline in the prophecies. And so there's going to be a 7 years of tribulation coming. Food and water is going to be scarce. And so I actually have a little company. We're building greenhouses for people, and they love them, and I'm selling them. It's going great. People need a greenhouse. People need garden seeds. We're going to see highways will be desolate. It's in Isaiah 33. I have other videos actually holding my Bible open and showing them. So tune into my channel, click like, subscribe, all that stuff. I'm not even trying to do this YouTube stuff for any kind of compensation. I only wanted people to wake up and understand who's behind what is happening. And it basically goes back to an old quote from Henry Kissinger. Control the oil, control the nations. Control the food, control the people. We the people who are the free people of this earth, we do not want to be controlled. But they do plan to put all the food into the Walmarts and FEMA camps, and you won't get any food unless you accept an RFID chip in your hand. Mark of the beast is what it is. It all comes together and it's making sense. So thanks for watching the video. Click subscribe, tell your friends. There's a guy on this YouTube channel, he knows what he's talking about. Thanks for watching.